How are we going? It's looking pretty exciting, this swell, eh?
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a really good day. I don't think it's going to be as big as like Armageddon style, like Cape Fear contest. But I don't know. It's hard to tell from here, but yeah, I reckon it's going to be really good.
Got the lines coming in, which is a good sign, but not huge, eh? So obviously it's still coming up.
Little lines here. So I reckon it's going to be pumping. I reckon maybe 6-8 foot, maybe 10 foot sets, hopefully. Just a really good direction swell. Like, I haven't seen this direction for a long time. So,
and a good size, which is a long time since we've seen a good east swell size-wise.
And then just for where the low is, and then get this nice weather. So yeah, it's pretty rare. Someone's after you.
Yes. One set was probably like 12 feet, I guess, and just crazy. Some wobbly, weird ones in the mix, but there's like pretty crazy ones. Pretty big already. Feels like it's the swell still hitting though. Doesn't feel like it's like fully here.
Look, there's some huge 12-foot caverns. It's going to be a good day. It's going to be a really good day.
Right, well, we've just checked the buoys, and the word is it's absolutely firing. It's meant to be 8 to 12 feet, and I'm so excited. I've been looking forward to this for a couple of years. It hasn't really been a proper Cape Solander swell for a long time. Lots of 6 foot, set of 7 foot at best swells, but nothing where it's really, really pumping. And so we've got the B-roll, we've got the intros, now we're heading into the bushes. We're going to get that side angle, so let's go! I'm excited!
We're seeing mid sky into the horizon.
fucking rogue out there. Pretty rogue. I sat in the channel for about an hour before I caught a couple and then rolled and tumbled a bit.
Yeah, lining them up.
Fuck, it's very hard to sit out there. Some of those washroos are just
freight trains.
Like relentless. They just keep coming and keep coming.
Is it the biggest swell you've experienced here before?
No, I've seen it bigger, but in a different direction. It's just pretty south still, so it's that's why it's doing that wash and a lot of clamping.
Yeah, some morning's consensus.
But fuck, some of those surfers out there are really having a crack. They are fucking going for it. Like, hats off to the lads. Like, I grabbed the rope with Still Longbottom and went, I don't know if I'm into this, and those boys just keep grabbing it and going and going. So, like, hats off to them, all of them. They're all having a really good crack. They're not really getting the ones. Here we go.
getting in there on a day like this, I basically, mate, there was no other way but getting washed up onto the rocks. I was in the keyhole in there, and I had to ditch the leggy because I was getting washed down into where you don't want to be, and then huge walls of whitewash were coming, and I had to climb the cliff, and I ditched the leggy, the whole board.
And that's how your board got damaged.
Yeah, and then when the set stopped, I came back down and got my board and scampered across the rocks.
Is it your favourite board to ride out here, or is it just one from the back of the garage?
I go and buy a bunch of shit boards before swells.
Council pickup.
Yeah, 150 bucks the limit.
Yeah.
Because I'm a self-funded surfer. I'll go get a bunch of second-hand boards and just boards to break. So I got 2 more in the car.
Well, go get it, mate.
Yeah, baby.
Thanks, Mullet Lord.
Hell yeah.
Cheers.
You got towed into a wave, so what was the story about the tow in with the boat? How come you didn't have a ski to tow you in? Or?
Oh, yeah, no, the boat tow.
Yeah.
I don't know, it was kind of different. I don't know, just there was no one out. Just like, fuck it, let's do something different. Just tow me in by the boat.
And was that one of the biggest waves? Because I thought the one you had earlier in the day was big, but when I saw that one this morning, I went, oh God, that's even bigger.
Yeah, well, I think because it was really dangerous, I think the main goal was to just tow me into a burger, but it kind of held up and hit the reef and nearly swallowed me as well with the backwash.
Decision I've reflected on when those Braboy cats offered to put me on the shelf there to swim in. I said to him before I was going to go in, I said, I might just swim around. I wasn't that keen. I was pretty exhausted. He had 4 hours in the salt in like 15-20 foot barrels, and it was like, I might just swim around. I'm not sure if I'm up for a beating. And then I missed the jump up the first time. I was like, fuck. And I went for it and got swept. It could have been much worse. I was travelling at a fucking big velocity across those rocks, and I bashed my knee and arm and hand, and but no, when I'd done it, I was in a lot of pain. I said to the bloke who walked up to me, I said, my knee really hurts. I thought fuck, I hope this doesn't kind of wind up to be a ACL or broken leg or something. But yeah, it was not a good decision, and probably won't make that decision again.
Today, Cape Solander was as big and crazy as it gets, almost as big as the Cape Fear Day back in 2016. It was almost too big, too south, and it wasn't really doing its thing. The barrels weren't really doing what it can do. But tomorrow we're expecting a special day because it's going to settle down, the winds are going to blow more offshore. But today was still really exciting. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, and of course subscribe to our channel. It makes a huge difference. And we'll see you in part 2.